Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel Sharang and Sharvari. This video was very much requested by all the subscribers, and it's when you have a couples channel, I would say it is very obvious that people have this sort of question that, okay, where did you guys meet, or what is your story like, since mostly everyone on the channel knows that we are getting married soon. So I think this is just kind of a reveal video in which we tell you how we met, the story of how we met and how our relationship is going so far. So Sharang, do you want to take the lead?
I mean, yes and no, because I'll be perfectly honest. I am a very private person by my nature. I hate talking about personal details of my life. I would rather bore people with pedantic details that no one except me cares about, and look into their eyes and watch their life and interest drain away as I keep on waxing lyrical and excessively scientific about some esoteric topic. But yeah, sure, since I am being made to talk about my personal life, I guess I have to do it. But I have a genuine question about that. Since we presumably have the same exact story to tell, how are we supposed to tell? Do I tell the first half and then you tell the second half? Because talking about feelings is what you do. I just awkwardly shut down. I think that's our
So
dynamic.
what we can do is I can maybe start telling the story, Sharang, and if you remember any specific anecdotes or if you remember something that you want to share with everyone, then you can maybe just
That's it.
include that. Would that work with
expecting me to remember expecting me to remember anecdotes and then share them with random people on the internet. I don't know what percentage of people watching us are absolute degenerates who I don't let within 100 feet of me. So this is funny.
you? Well,
But yeah, I guess
yeah,
the floor is yours. I don't know.
we can start maybe and you can just contribute as we go along. Would that work with you?
Sure. Or I could just stay silent and be eye candy.
Hey, you're married. That's kind of out of the picture.
The ring of imprisonment. But yeah.
So, first rule of marriage, we are not there yet, guys, but commitment is sacred for us, definitely. So, I think without wasting any further time, I think I should start telling the story of how we met. So
Yeah.
for people thinking that we have a love marriage, I don't know the amount of people who have been thinking that, but if there is a misconception, I would love to clear it right here in this video. So I would classify it as a love arranged marriage. Now, everyone in the Western part of the world might not exactly know what an arranged marriage is. So it's kind of like a blind date, except the person that you go on a date on is with the intention of marriage directly without all the steps like proposing and everything.
And for the just to clear the misconceptions, in case there are any white people or non-Indians watching us, yes, obviously it happens with the woman's consent. This is a real conversation I've had where I told people, yeah, I'm going to go for an arranged marriage, and a bunch of German women asked me, oh, does the woman have a choice? And I was like, yeah, I'm not about to put a gun to some woman's face and force her to marry me. That's not what I do. Mostly because it's inefficient and I don't want to waste time dragging a woman back home. I'm joking, but yeah, please continue.
So yeah, definitely it is with the woman's consent. She also wants to be married to the guy. And in our case, actually, I think both of us were in a place in our own lives that we had this thing that, okay, I would want to find someone for marriage or want to go ahead with that. And we had registered actually on a website. I will not, of course, name the website due to privacy concerns, but there is a website that we had enrolled on, and these websites have all of your personal information such as your age, what you do, what you have studied, where you work, all of those things, and you have to just browse through profiles according to your liking, and then if you match with someone, you tend to take it ahead. So what happened was I actually had just created a profile on this particular matrimonial website. I had just recently turned 24. So I wasn't looking very, in a very rigorous manner because I didn't have quite of an hurry to get married. So I came across like quite a few profiles before that, and some, did not fit to my liking. And I came across this particular man's profile on that same website. And
Biggest mistake of your life, and it's too late to back out now. But yeah, you're stuck.
very late, very late. I'm stuck for life now. So I came across his profile and I read the profile, and everything seemed very, to my liking, or I found a clear similarity between what I wanted in life and what he wants out of life. So that kind of intrigued me further. That's why I dropped him a message at, I think it was at night. I dropped him a message, and I read in his profile that he was not in India at the time. So I dropped him a message, and then Mr. Sharang right here responded, apparently saying that he also had a lot of common things, which I highly doubt. But I really hope they were.
Yeah. So the thing is, what made me choose Sharvari and like choose to respond to Sharvari was one basic factor. It's like she had lived abroad and she had made a conscious decision to move back to India, and that was one thing that like I really found nice. And I was like, okay, here's a girl who has lived abroad but still has made a conscious decision to move back to India, knowing full well the pros and cons, and that really spoke volumes to me. Um, Additionally, when I began to talk to her, I think initially in arranged marriages, the focus is not so much on love and flirting. It's more like how well your values are aligning, what are your plans for your future, and so on and so forth. Because sometimes love can just blind you to the base reality of who someone is. And I think arranged marriage goes a long way in avoiding that, because you tend to think with a lot. You tend to invest a lot of active cognitive processing away from the emotional judgment, and I think that really helped me to fall.
Right. Exactly. And there was a lot of similarity, as I mentioned, between the type of lives we had lived or what we wanted to do ahead, and basic questions like whether we wanted kids or not, or things like that. They really matched. So I think it was a great place to start. And of course, we started to talk, we started to really bond. And it was a nice phase, as I recall it. It was really nice. I mean, I used to love talking to him. But one thing I had made clear was that when you're on a site like this, you also tend to talk with other people as well, because everyone's in the same boat. They're all exploring their options, finding the best suitable person to marry. So me and Sharang were both at a place where we kind of were doing that. So a few months passed by like this, I think, and then the thing was that he was not in India at the time. So there was a question of us meeting, because virtual relationships, they really don't work, or it's very hard to understand a person that way, or kind of bond and connect with a person that way. So I am a firm believer of that. That's why I wanted to meet him before I took any decision of marrying him. I think, Sharang, you also wanted to do the same.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
Right. So that time had come, and somewhere we kind of, stopped talking to other people. So it was like we became exclusive without really saying that we were exclusive in a way. And then he finally came to India, and we could finally meet. And the best part there was that what I had, talked about, or what I had envisioned he would be, the idea of him really matched to how he was as a person. So that was a huge relief for me. And I think that's how the process started. One catch in the story was that now people will think, okay, then what happened? Why was there such a long gap in between? But
Yeah.
somewhere, it's always very essential to have someone who's well settled. And I'm not talking about just the guy, the girl as well. I mean, there is no gender difference here. I'm a believer that a guy and a girl, when they're coming together in a partnership, they should both have jobs, in my opinion. Or they should at least be sufficient enough to stand on their own 2 feet in terms of financial independence.
Yeah, financial self-reliance, I think, is a prerequisite.
Correct. And I think the scenario at the time was such that I was employed at the time. But since Sharang had just come from another country, it was the period in which he was not yet finding employment or being fully settled here in India. So
Yeah.
I had to, give him that time before we really went ahead with the whole marriage thing. And yeah, Sharang definitely he stayed true to his word because we were already exclusive by that point. So we had kind of converted into a love marriage from an arranged marriage. That is what had
Yeah.
happened in a way. And he definitely lived to his word and lived to his promise, and he got settled in a good position. And then I think things really went smoothly from there, I believe, right, Sharang?
Yeah, I mean, so that was the time at which I decided, like, to, how do I say, to take it forward. And then our families met. So it was obviously in India in arranged marriages. It's very, very important that both the families are also on board. And once both of us had jobs, both of us are reasonably, similar in various things, like in terms of height, in terms of physical appearance, because that's also quite important, to be honest. Um, so a lot of things are aligned well, and her parents were happy with the man she had chosen. My parents were happy with the woman I had chosen, and then the both families met. We met, of course, we were meeting, and then yeah, a date was decided for the engagement, and a date was decided for the marriage, and that is how we plan to proceed. And the thing that I had, like, the one thing that I'm proud of in this relationship, I guess, is like whatever promises. Like I was very realistic with the promises I made to Sharvari, but I made sure to that I would keep them. And I think, like in any relationship, trust is key. And once you break that, it's almost impossible to get back. So make realistic promises. Don't promise someone the world if you can't deliver. You're a human. The other person's a human. And I think the biggest piece of advice that personally I can give is that you're a human being. You're flawed. So is the other person. So don't expect perfection because that doesn't exist. Like, don't think, oh, I'll meet the perfect person and I'll live with them happily for the rest of my life. Think that I'll meet someone who's probably just like me in his or her own way. And then can we have a reasonably stable, reasonably peaceful, reasonably happy marriage? Because life will bring suffering your way. That's inevitable. But you need to have some deep and profound meaning uh, as a bulwark against the suffering of life. And you also need faith. And I think that's a good place to end this video.
That's true. So, thank you guys for watching. This was something different that we did. And I think all of you know that we, both of us got engaged on the 13th of July. And of course, the wedding is to follow, but I won't be discussing it here. So I guess you guys will know when you know. So thank you everyone for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel and see you soon. Thank you.